Ever since the Game Awards announced Borderlands 4 back in December, I've only made one video on what we know about Borderlands 4. And over the past month, I've had a lot of people asking on live stream and my comments about like, why are you not talking about Borderlands 4? What's going on, dude? You excited for it? Are you not excited for it? Well, what's going on? Honestly, I'm gonna repeat what I've said a million times. We have not seen the gameplay yet. So at this current point in time, in early January right now, I don't have a reason to be super duper excited yet. Regardless though, there are quite a few things in the reveal trailer we had at Game Awards that I'm questioning a little bit, and that's kind of the reason I'm making this video for today. The game has not been fully revealed yet. We have not seen a gameplay or anything like that, just some cinematic shots, HUDless gameplay for a couple seconds. Like, we have not seen anything really about Borderlands 4 yet. I hope the game does well. I hope it releases. We all love it. It's the next game to bridge us over from, you know, people who really love Borderlands 2 and people who really love Borderlands 3. I want this game to be the ultimate game, but they have to give us a reason to think that first. All right, let's get into it. So this is a free commentary. I'm not, you know, scripting anything. I just wrote down a few key points. We're gonna talk today. I'm gonna go over my current concerns after seeing the trailer and not really go into I want this, I want that, like a wish list. So first off, let's talk about the one that a lot of people are currently talking about, and that is the trailer revealed very generic looking Vault Hunters. I totally agree, they don't really pop out except for maybe the siren looking character. They're not very vibrant in color and they kind of blend in with the background. I feel like for a reveal trailer they could have chose some better customization for the characters, but either way, we don't know anything about these Vault Hunters yet, what they sound like, what they play like, their skill trees. They still have to reveal that, so I'm not super disappointed about the generic look, but I do understand it. In fact, if you go back to the Borderlands 2 trailer, like, Axton was this generic soldier-looking character. He didn't really stand out. And Salvador, I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk about this. Bro, he's a dude in a t-shirt. Next thing you know, they drop the game, and they're actually pretty good characters. In fact, Salvador is like one of the best, and in my opinion, the most fun character in Borderlands 2 for me. And Axton, regardless of the memes about being the weakest character, he is really, really good. So that's all I want to say for the generic-looking Vault Hunters. I do agree they should have chose some better cosmetics to make them pop out more in the trailer. And currently, it doesn't bother me too much. I mean, I'm just gonna, you know, change my customization as soon as I can if it's gonna be bland, boring. And heck, Borderlands has always been a first-person game, so I'm not even gonna see my character when I'm playing the game. For my next concern, we have that Borderlands 4 is confirmed to be on Unreal Engine 5. And from what I've heard, I haven't done a bunch of research on this just yet, is that a lot of Unreal Engine 5 games are not running well. So there is a little bit of concern to be had about that. And heck, Borderlands 3 was on Unreal Engine 4, and that game did not run good on release day. They're diving into a brand new engine here, and if they could not optimize, you know, Unreal Engine 4, then yeah, there is a right to be concerned about Unreal Engine 5. I'm just hoping release day they don't drop the game and then it runs like poo, and then we have to wait for many patches to get the game optimized, and maybe not even to a point in which it runs well. Sad but true, but I have a 4090 GPU and I've been playing BL3 as of recently. Again, a game on Unreal Engine 4, right? And even with the 4090, I am still getting random stutters and dips in the game. But no apparent reason too, like it's not heavy combat, it's not, you know, anything like that. It's just the game running, and then randomly there's a dip or a stutter for seemingly no reason. I do want to bring up though that Wonderlands on my system did run better than Borderlands 3, even though it's the same engine, Unreal Engine 4. So from my personal experience, it did seem like they did optimize Unreal Engine 4 a little bit better over the course of time. So I'm just really hoping to get Unreal Engine 5 right. I really do not want to go through many patches and stuff and hotfixes, whatever is needed to get the game to run good. I don't want enemies shooting, you know, launchers and stuff and causing my game to stutter. Like for a AAA game, that should not be happening. And if it does happen, then AAA gaming is just gonna get worse and worse. Man, I don't want this to turn into like a complaint video. I'm just like voicing my concerns. I'm not mad, I'm not happy. I'm just like, you know, hoping we get the game that we all want, but yeah, let's just continue on here. Randy Pitchford did confirm on Twitter that Borderlands 4 is going to be a seamless world. He didn't want to use the term open world, and that does have me a little bit concerned. I don't know if he called it seamless world as a way to make Borderlands 4 sound like it has a one-of-a-kind world generation or something. Or if it means in some way we're getting possible less quality than what open world does offer for other games. In fact, Randy did say on Twitter too that anything you see in the world, you can go there. I don't believe that, I'm gonna be honest. If I see a cliffside way over there, I bet there's gonna be a barrier at some point or something. A good example is if you jump into Borderlands 3 at any point in, you know, Promethea, Negrotafeo, maps like that, you can see these giant structures in the background, like massive buildings, and you might think, oh hey, I want to go there. But in actuality, you're just in a smaller map, you know, blocked off by these giant buildings and stuff, and yeah, it just seems larger than what it really is. Personally, I think the maps are going to be bigger and there's going to be more going on, but for some reason I'm not very convinced about the seamless world just yet. In the reveal trailer, we didn't see the Vault Hunters traveling large distances or going fast to any locations. So at the moment there is a little bit of concern there, and in honesty, we just need more information about what seamless world really means. Also, going back to the Unreal Engine 5 talk, if this seamless world is a massive, like, loaded map, I would assume, not confirm, I would assume, that as you travel through this map, it's going to deload things behind you or things further away as a way to allocate memory to run the game and not be stuttering laggy. But what if it's stuttering laggy? Unreal Engine 5 seems to be in its testing phase still, and again, many games are running it and not running well. So I pray when we're traveling this seamless world, we're not like lag spiking to deload things and load new objects as we travel, because that'd be a huge letdown. Also on this topic about seamless world loading, they did confirm that you can call cars anywhere on your person, and while that does sound amazing and fun for some people, I've never been a fan of driving in any of the Borderlands games across the whole franchise. I don't know if it's just me, but like traversing the world in a car or even car combat has never been fun. They even gave us a bunch of new like customization things for cars in Borderlands 3, and I still stuck to the Cyclone default skin. Like, I didn't care about any of that stuff really, and I found myself using cars just to get from point A to point B faster. So if we are driving a bunch in this game, you know, that's entirely a possibility, then I hope that the car combats evolve to be better and also don't pull a pre-sequel again. In a pre-sequel, there's a lot of driving around these big empty maps. So I'm hoping we don't have like, you know, one little point of interest in the corner, drive a couple of minutes for a new point of interest, and along the way you find maybe like 2 skag dens and skags that are there to fill the emptiness. Please don't do that. These maps need to be filled. And one thing I did notice a lot in Borderlands 3 is they didn't have that many like cool little hidden Easter eggs tucked away in corners of maps. Or heck, not even Easter eggs, but like actual secrets. Like the best Easter eggs we've ever had in Borderlands in the franchise was the Borderlands 2 Minecraft Easter egg. Like you walk in there and there's creepers, there's dirt blocks, you know, stone blocks, dedicated drops. It had everything going for a very cool, very good Easter egg. And in the pre-sequel, we got the Super Mario Easter egg. While there wasn't any cool farms there, like, you know, outside of like, what was it, 5, 6 red chests, it was still a really cool secret tucked in the corner for a very cool reference. And in my opinion, we have not had, you know, that good of an Easter egg ever again. Even in Borderlands 3, there was a few good ones here and there, but they were usually pretty small, tucked away in a corner and just like a one and done little thing. Like the best example I can think of off the top of my head was One Punch. You pull some levers, fall on a COB guy, and he can one-shot you. And his name is One Punch. I don't know, I just hope they do better with that. I'm getting sidetracked. This is the random commentary, like I said. I said I wasn't even going to talk about like things I want in the game, but here we are. Anyways, let's veer away from that. The next thing I noticed in the trailer is we did get grappling, and a lot of people were screaming and freaking out about that. But honestly, I'm not super excited for grappling. Is that weird to say? For some reason, I have a feeling in the back of my mind that it's just going to be go from point A to point B with a locked animation, and they're just going to be sparingly sprinkled around the world as a get from floor 1 to floor 2. Heck, replace the grapple with a normal ladder like we've had in, you know, Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3. It's achieving the same functionality. You're on floor 1, you go up to it, you sink a little time to interact with it, and then boom, you're on floor 2. Now, it might sound like a weird complaint for some, but honestly, it just seems like a different form of ladder if you think about it. We only saw the one grapple in the trailer, so we can't really confirm it's just going to be that. There could be more to it. Maybe we can like grapple enemies towards us or actively shoot as we're grappling or something, like something more to it. But at the moment, I'm just really hoping it's not a generic, you know, point A to point B. Also, I'm going to go ahead and make my prediction now. We're going to be in a boss fight where we have to grapple off the ground to avoid the ground becoming dangerous. So we're going to grapple up to 2nd level, shoot down the boss from above, and then, you know, that's going to be the gameplay loop. I'm calling it, bro. I'm calling it. I know it's going to happen. Anyways, let's move on here. So, weapon diversity. This is a very important topic right now, and I actually didn't notice this at first, but if you look at the weapon beams on the ground, it's only weapons. No shields, no grenades, nothing else. Like, they chose for this trailer to only show us weapons. And not only that, but the weapons on the ground, they seem to match each other. Like, that purple-looking sniper is also the other purple-looking sniper on the ground. There's multiples of the same weapon type. Kind of wonder why they only showed us weapons for the trailer. I mean, I know that Borderlands has always been a gun game, and weapons are the main focus in the franchise. So I'm wondering why they only showed off a few weapons in the trailer, you know, no shields, no grenades, no nothing else. I don't know if I'd classify this as a concern, more of a why? And because they only show guns, I do have a little tiny sliver of hope that we might get melee weapons back in this game, similar to what we had in Wonderlands. I really hope they didn't lock the melee items only to Wonderlands, because I thought it was a really cool system. and it could definitely push characters and build diversity even further in the franchise. But yeah, just feeling a little bit weird about the weapon showcase for the trailer. Also, if you look at the beams, you might notice that the legendaries have that extra little rainbow glow. I've seen so many people in the comments think that it could be Annoyances returning, and I've also seen people say, hey, this could just be the new legendary look. It's got the iconic orange beam with the little rainbow glow on it. What do I think? Well, honestly, I think it feels like just the new legendary look, but there's no hiding it. I do have that little bit of doubt in the back of my mind that, hey, what if this is Annoyances returning? What if Annoyances are locked to legendaries only, so that's why we're only seeing the rainbow glimmer on that? And it really does make you wonder, like, what's that all about? Also, I want to point out I'm not crapping on people for liking Annoyances or Enchantments. If you like them, cool. I'm glad you found enjoyment in those. But honestly, I found them to be way over the top. Like, slap on Annoyant, you have an insane power boost for clicking one button. I wasn't a huge fan of the gameplay loop of, you know, shooting Zane's cannon into the floor or into the sky just to get a big damage boost. Or always choosing the shortest action skill cooldowns to, you know, proc Annoyance. I guess in my eyes, Annoyance almost felt like, you know, you push your action skill as a optional secondary button. And it's never really felt right to me. Not to mention it took away from the character's unique gimmicks like Amara can elemental infuse elements into her weapon, and Annoyance made it to where every element can be infused into every weapon on every character. Action skill in fire, action skill in corrosion, action skill in whatever. And then you have Zane with the clone ammo regen gimmick and terror ammo regen gimmick that everybody can use. So Moses ammo regen gimmick for, what is it called? I think Forge? Was that the skill name, the capstone? All characters could do it, so it made all those characters play the same. And I can go on and on about all the Annoyance that overlap other character traits. I guess what I'm saying is Annoyance made all the characters play the same, and it never really made them stood out as much. Some people look at it as build diversity, but I looked at it as way too much overlap. Now, I know in Borderlands they did bring back Annoyance and called them Enchantments, and they did tone them back quite a bit, but it still suffered from the issue of having way too many Enchantments, sorry. And a ton of us sat at the enchantment table and just kept refreshing and refreshing the enchants until we got the one we wanted. You're just sitting at a table, clicking a button, waiting to see if you get the right thing on your build, and yeah, repeat the process. Not the most exciting gameplay loop. Oh, not to mention I spent over half an hour trying to get a specific enchantment. And a lot of us, including myself, even resorted to read-only farming just to save our crystals or whatever it was in Wonderlands to reroll your enchants. And yeah, like, I just have never been a fan. Going back to Borderlands 4, if we do get enchantments or anointments, whatever they're gonna call it, I hope that they're severely toned back in terms of power and they give us a better way to reroll it. Like, give us a list to choose from. You know, spend your currency, pick that specific roll, apply it to gun. I'd be a little bit happier with that, but best case scenario for me, anointments don't return. Have it have more of a focus on the gun and your build synergy with that gun. Some might call it more old-fashioned, but in my opinion, it worked. Why change something that worked? Alright, final thing on my list today. A ton of people, including myself, are wondering about the Timekeeper. If you don't know, the big bad in this game, the antagonist is known as the Timekeeper, and at this current point in time, we don't know much about him. But, going off of his name, Timekeeper, I'm really hoping that they do not introduce time travel into the Borderlands franchise. I know a ton of people want, you know, like Maya to come back, TK Baja to come back, heck, Jack to come back. But honestly, maybe a hot take, but I think they're better off remaining dead. Because if they do come back from the Timekeeper, you know, he introduces time travel or multi-universal travel to other alternate universes, then that would kill the flow of the story and the whole entire story would just fall apart. Think about it. What if Zane dies in Borderlands 4, right? And then next thing you know, they bring him back. Well then, why should I care about anybody else dying in the franchise at that point if they can come back? Imagine we get Borderlands 5 somehow. We're thinking way beyond here. And they kill off, I don't know, Mad Moxie, Claptrap, somebody like that, right? Our initial mindset's gonna be like, oh no, that's so sad. But then we're like, oh, wait a minute. They can come back, right? So I'm not sad anymore. Like, even if they establish at the end of Borderlands 4 that, like, hey, the Timekeeper is dead and he cannot bring anybody back anymore or something like that, right? It still happened within the franchise, within the universe. So just knowing that it could happen again at some point just kills the continuity of the story, and yeah, just don't do it. At the moment, my concern for this is very low. Like, I'm not too worried about it just yet. I mean, we're only connecting the Timekeeper's name to, you know, time, and that really could just mean anything. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this random commentary today. I do want to do more videos about discussing things in the Borderlands franchise, so if you have any suggestions about what you want me to discuss, then be sure to comment that down below. Also, while you're down there, voice your concerns about Borderlands 4, and I encourage a healthy and civil discussion down in the comments. Now, one more thing I want to point out is, like, usually on my channel, it's all, you know, sunshine and rainbows, playing games, having a good time, right? But every now and then, we gotta be real, sit down, have, you know, the serious talks. And this is one of the things that's kind of been on the back of my mind. After this video, you might be thinking I'm extremely worried about Borderlands 4, but in actuality, I am, you know, hoping it's the best game ever. I mean, who doesn't want a better Borderlands game? Everybody wants a better Borderlands game. But Gearbox has to deliver that, and really, only time will tell. Also, I've heard all the memes about, you know, like, when Borderlands 4 drops, Jolts is still gonna go back to Borderlands 2. Could happen, but I hope it doesn't. I love Borderlands 2, but, like, you know, I do want the next game to be the best game ever, and again, I'm not gonna be hyped until I see gameplay. Until they prove to us that this game is, like, the game that everybody wants, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Anyways, I've been talking long enough. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.